morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Connon. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Well, we've had a nice long weekend. We're coming back in the S&P. We're going to look at two critical levels in these S&P futures. The analysts have had a busy weekend, though. We've got lots of upgrades and downgrades to talk about on individual issues. Campbell, Smithfield Foods reported earnings here this morning. We've got a merger in the pharmaceutical sector, and we'll talk about some key levels in your individual S&P components as well. Joel, how was the Labor Day weekend?
Well, got some good news and some bad news.
What's the good news?
Good news is the Tigers swept the White Sox and moved into a short-lived tie for first place.
It was very short-lived because they lost yesterday and the White Sox won yesterday.
Right. And the bad news is I don't want to talk about the Michigan-Alabama game. So let's talk about the market. And even though we're showing unchanged here, the market did have a pretty nice range overnight. Actually, Sunday night when we were out grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and celebrating Labor Day, the S&Ps, the minis got down to that critical support level, just one tick below Friday's low,
Yep.
and then rebounded with a fury. Got up to 1409.50. I think just two levels to focus on this week are those multiple bottoms we've talked about at 1395, and then you get them at 1397, and then triple top Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Highs right at that 1412 to 1412.50 level.
Yeah, you've got two pretty defined areas. Crazy that sold off overnight. There's such a quick, vicious sell-off there Sunday night when we were all barbecuing, like you said. But we were up there 1405, 1406, straight down 1396. So if you had some orders just sitting out there and you got long, good for you. That support holds once again. Those 1395 to 1396 area is absolutely incredible. Continues to provide us fabulous support. And like you said, that 1412 area on the upside, probably your resistance area to focus on here for this week.
One other thing to note, you've also had the last, except for that 1397 close that we've had on Thursday, we've had almost 5-6 closes right in this 1407, 1408 area. So a major consolidation not only on the highs and lows, but on the closes as well.
The analysts have been very busy over the weekend. While we were barbecuing, they were upgrading and downgrading stocks. JP Morgan, one of the busier ones, they're doing a couple of pair trades here. They are downgrading Goldman Sachs and upgrading Morgan Stanley. Now, Goldman Sachs is actually still trading up because CLSA separately upgraded Goldman Sachs and CLSA separately upgraded Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley getting a pair of upgrades where Goldman Sachs getting a downgrade from JP Morgan and an upgrade from CLSA.
Well, first let's go to the Goldman Sachs chart. This stock has quietly moved up to roughly the 106 level, trying to fill a gap that it had back on May 10th. But you're just getting a bunch of highs up here. I mean, none real specific. I mean, you have a 106.29 to 106.58 high. A little bit of a stretch of the imagination. You could call that a double top. And then you have an island top up there, 107.34. But this chart, I mean, it doesn't have the parabolic rally like the S&P's does, but it really looks like it's just trying to find a home here. It's trying to survive this resistance area, form another base to move higher.
Yeah, we've had a lot of consolidation here over the last month. Basically, the stock trading between 103 and 106 for the most part, but slowly drifting up. You can see the slow drift up here. It does look like it's gearing up to maybe make that move to 110. Not sure if that's going to be this week here or not, but obviously CLSA thinks so and JP Morgan doesn't, so we'll have to see what materializes. But Morgan Stanley, they're both bullish on Morgan Stanley. Here's another one. Similar formation, kind of just been hanging out here in the mid-14s for the majority of August, but now we are breaking out, and the stock is trading up pretty decent here on pretty decent volume, 56,000 shares, trading at 15.31 in the pre-market, up 31 cents.
Yeah, that coincides perfectly with the 1534 high that we had on August 21st. Looking at the pre-market activity, we've been able to trade up at that area, actually get a little bit above it to 1540. So let's keep a whole eye. I mean, if it can break above, it's only up 31 cents. But if my memory serves me correctly, every time this thing gets an upgrade or it gets a rally, it holds on for a day or two and then flops right back down. So
Right.
I don't know if this is going to be the real deal here for Morgan Stanley, but above this 1540 area, you could see a move over the next few days up to the $16 level.
Yeah, not a heck of a lot between 1540 and 16, so it needs to start to get above there and hold above that critical 1534 area, and I would tend to agree with you. If it can start to trade 1550, I think we might see 16 in this one. Other news here, though, from JP Morgan, they are doing another pair trade. They're upgrading CAG and downgrading GIS. So in the food sector, they're like Conagra, and they've got it trading up at 25.29 right now, but they're not liking General Mills, and General Mills is trading down 33 cents on that news.
Well, the ConAgra, your dev, I mean, I know you're going to look at the chart and you're going to say $26, a major resistance there.
It's a long ways
Just a
away.
few, yeah, that's a ways away in this lower beta stock. You did get a few trades up here at 23.45 being a high. That's not real relevant since the low volume. But keep an eye on this 25.51 level. That was a high on July 11th. Above that, you have another high at 25.68. But look for that initial resistance at 25.5. If it can bust through there, it has a little bit of room on the upside.
General Mills here, just looking at the chart on that one, 39 was pretty decent resistance before. It's trading right there right now, but I'm not sure if you're going to get that much support because we had such an up move here. I think that was that earnings there back on the 24th where we bounced from that 38.30 up to 39 bucks. I think it might have been. Can't remember for sure if that's the day or not that it reported, but if you look, it had such a big move up, it starts to get under the 39 area, then there's just that little vacuum area.
Yeah, it's kissed 38.95 in the pre-market, just hanging out here. We've talked about that kind of formation in the stock with blows through an area on the upside when it comes back down through that area. So this can't really tell you 39 is going to be good support in this. A lot of air below that 39. You could really take a little ride down here to 38.29, which was a low on August 24th.
We have other food stocks in the news, though, so if you are trading these ones, you want to be aware that there was two food stocks that did report here today, too. Smithfield Foods just reported earnings here this morning, 40 cents against estimates of 44 cents, so slight miss there from Smithfield Foods. It's trading at 18.78 right now on very light volume. Closed at 19.32, so Smithfield is trading down. The low of that move, if you just go back from a couple days ago, is 18.62 and 18.63, so a little double bottom there. That would need to hold. If it starts to get below there, you open up.
Give me the symbol on that one.
SFD.
SFD. I
Come
like
on, you
it.
gotta know your ticker symbols better than that.
I did just like every combination of that. Okay, major resistance in this stock. We have now trickled away from it based on the news. 1950 was definitely putting the top in this. You have a double bottom here at 1863 and 73 that Dennis just accurately mentioned. Looking at the pre-market, haven't quite got to that level yet, but I'm looking for support there. And on any kind of rally, $19 will now act as resistance.
Campbell's Soup also reported here earnings here this morning. Symbol CPB. Stock is trading up huge right now. This is crazy on earnings that they beat by 3 cents. There's got to be something more here yet because when they first beat, the stock was trading up just about 50-60 cents. It's now trading up over $2, 37.20. I have no idea what the hell's going on here, but it seems absolutely crazy move for Campbell's Soup. So they've obviously said something in the conference call here because the stock's trading up $2 right now.
Yeah, whoo boy,
That's
Campbell
huge. That's a
soup.
ridiculous.
That's a lot.
That's an
That's a
insane
lot
move.
of that's a lot of cans of soup there.
It's coming down a
38.
bit now, but
Yeah,
37.11. But man, this stock is moving.
yeah, it just hit 38.70. I would be,
What? It did
yeah,
too. It just hit yeah, it hit 38.70 right before we went to it there. So obviously a huge spike up there on somebody said something, man, for it to go up that much.
Yeah, and they probably had a sell order out there too because that takes out some major resistance that this had at 37.60 back about a year ago. We hit 37.50 and 37.59. I would concentrate on those levels as opposed to the 38.70 high. That will act as resistance. Big move for this stock. Doesn't trade a lot of volume, but still, this move up on this kind of volume is a little bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah, crazy move here for Campbell's Soup. IBM gets an upgrade from Barclays here today, and the stock is trading up substantially too. I'm surprised that it can move up this much. It's 196.99, so it's up over $2 on this upgrade from Barclays here. I guess they like that support area that we were talking about on your weekly outlook there, Joel, where we highlighted this whole double bottom here area, while the stock is bouncing off of that and moving up here substantially in the pre-market.
Yeah, if you're looking to get into IBM, I don't know if this open would be my cup of tea here. Had 3 and 4 day highs at 109, 196.04 to 11. We've blown that through there, so I would look at that area, that 196 area, as support. If doing a short off the open or trying to cover in a ill-fated short you took home overnight, 196 is going to be a key swing level. Going above the pre-market high here of 196.99, the 5 and 6 day highs at 198.11 to 198.29, but just don't think it's going to get there today.
This is a big move. It's up $2 here on an upgrade, and from Barclays itself too. So I think if you get up there, if you were to get up that 198 area, I think it might be a good area to try a short off of. Obviously, we know 200 is huge. That's 3 points away. I don't think it's going to see that high today, but the stocks they can move here. Expect a little bit more volatility than last week, but it could still be muted because we have the big number coming out on Friday. Obviously, unemployment data, so could be difficult to for the market to really get a lot of legs here with that news coming in 3 days. Let's look at a few of the Big Ten, the other ones in the Big Ten. I know you wanted to highlight Microsoft.
Yeah, boy, when Edwards and McGee wrote their book on technical analysis, look at
That's
this.
crazy.
Look
Yeah.
at this formation here. I mean, who's at 31? Is like Bill Gates trying to get out of some stock here?
31 is just absolutely enormous
Yeah,
here.
it's crazy. Now you have a little bit of a different scenario here. You have it closing at 30.82
Yeah.
and trading up in the pre-market. So if the market has some legs and this has some legs, it only has to travel, well, another dime at this point in order to get through that level. But boy, something tells me the way the market's been trading, the way that this thing's been trading, that it's going to take like a monumental news story or something to break this above 31. I mean, I did read over the weekend that there was some new phones coming out that were using the Windows 8 software, but boy, I don't know. I mean, what is going to get this thing through 31?
It's been 5, 6, 7 times here over the course of August where it's topped out in that area. I mean, if it's worked, if you've been trading it off that 31 and selling it off that 31 level, I guess if it's worked 5 or 6 times, why not try the seventh? Eventually, here it is going to take it out, I think, but I just don't know when that's going to happen. So, you just got to be careful. Obviously, you're trading there, and it does start to go through. You could trigger some stops when you start to get above 31. So you do want to be careful when you're leaning on those key technical levels like that. But the trade continues to work, so I guess you continue to sell it until it doesn't work anymore. A couple other ones here. AT&T, another one. It's kind of had muted activity here for the whole last 6, 7 trading sessions. Does seem like every time it gets up into this 37 area, it does find sellers, and every time it gets down into this 36.50 area, it finds buyers.
Yeah, now it's getting a little boost in the pre-market right back up at this level. So perhaps you could get a low risk short off here at 37. The sellers will be backing up at 37.04, 37.05, 37.06. It
Yeah.
just seems like every time this thing just doesn't have the legs. Same thing on the downside, the 36 and a half level, holding AT&T up here. If that goes, I don't know if some kind of market event or whatever, things would look pretty ugly. But if you're holding on, you're happy with your 5% dividend, and not anxious to exit the stock, just keep an eye on this 36.50 level for a potential breakdown. The last stock, bank stock, no one's talked about, no one's cared about. Wells Fargo, 34.20 to 34.28,
Just a huge level, yeah.
multiple highs there, and it just doesn't feel like it has the legs to get through there. Let it slip through there a little bit. 34.28 was the higher end of the range. Got to keep an eye on that level. Coming on the downside, couple sneaky lows at 33.76 a few days ago, 33.81. So real defined trading range for Wells Fargo. Doesn't have enough steam to break out above that 34.28, and certainly is not in any danger of breaking down right here until we can get through this 33.76
Yeah,
level.
kind of just trading in a channel there, so I guess you continue to do that too. Just trade in the range. I mean, that range has been working, so gets into those upper 34.20s, it's finding sellers, and then gets down to that whole 33.75, 33.80 area, it's finding buyers. So you got like a 40, 50 cent channel there, and that's been working. Speaking of channels too, look at this Pfizer channel. For the last month, man, this thing has just traded between 23.60 and 24.10, 24.11 area. There's a 50 cent channel for you right there too. And look, if you're trading that channel, how many times have you been able to short that thing up at 24.10? Looks like five, six, 7 times.
Yeah, 24. You'd have to be a little bit ahead of the 24.10 because 24 and
Right,
11 has been the
24.05.
high, but the whole $24 level. I mean, it's it's one of two things here. I mean, it's just uncertainty, profit taking here by the institutions. It just doesn't seem like they're running out, and the huge orders are on the sell side, but they're being scooped up, they're being bought, and it just more seller orders are coming out.
It's a big battle between the bulls and the bears here. This whole market is really consolidating, really for the last month, and it's a battle. And obviously, maybe Friday's unemployment number will tell us a little bit more of the story of who's going to win this battle. But you have lots of people with reference points, so when you do break out or break down in the overall market here, you could see some pretty good movement. But right now, we're still just trading in the channel in the overall market and on the stocks. Just before though, I want to look at Procter and Gamble here too and highlight one more critical level here. This 67.50 area has been huge. We've talked about some institutional selling pressure up there, and we've talked about the high frequency traders selling it in the 67.40, and we talked about that on Friday as well. And look at the high, got right to 67.45 and then sold straight off again.
Yeah, it's hanging out similar to formation that it had back in April before it broke down. I mean, you're looking at these stocks and a lot of the patterns. I mean, you can look at J&J and you see just a similar resistance at the $68 level.
Right.
So we'll see what the market tells us here over the next few days, but it cannot stay in this 13.95 to 14.12 range forever.
One merger that we just missed that I wanted to mention was Valiant VRX. Pharmaceutical company is buying MRX, which is Medisys Pharmaceutical, for $44 a share in cash. Obviously, we know MRX, so that's going to trade a bit below because it's an all-cash deal. But look at the lift that VRX is getting off of this. The acquirers used to be when the acquirer would go down and the acquiree would go up. Now both of them go up, and this thing's up over $5 here.
Yeah, here I can only reference point I can give you is the high that we've hit in the pre-market, which is 56.75. So see if the jubilation over this deal carries it through that level. And if you get back into that area, boy, this stock had a real bad day back on May 3rd, 2012. I don't know what happened there, but it hit a vacuum area, came off a multi-month high at 59.94 and sold straight off. So I bet you there's a few people looking for to get back out of that stock if it can get above that 56.75.
Well, that's our overall market thoughts here. Obviously, we continue to be range bound. Two areas that Joel and I was highlighting is the 1395 area on the downside and the 1412 resistance area on the upside. Keep those levels in mind if you're trading today, and we'll be back with you guys tomorrow.